It's difficult to imagine life without fire, but unfortunately, fire can quickly change from a useful assistant to a devastating enemy that instantly consumes everything you care about the most. Does this look familiar? You come home after a long day and your first thought is food. The fastest way to cook it is in a pan, but while cooking, you can quickly get distracted by an important telephone call or a cranky baby. You get away from the stove for just a second when the accident strikes. It can happen to anyone. Don't panic. We found a new, simple, effective, money-saving solution for you. We present you the Oil Fighter. 1, 2, 3. In case of burning oil in a pot or a pan. 1, 2, 3. Did you know that fires that involve cooking oils or fats are the most tenacious? Those fires can't be put out by standard ABC fire extinguishers that are mandatory and available in your home, in apartment buildings, private homes and campsites, or in any other type of household. It's a problem we all face. Oil Fighter is a fire extinguishing sachet that is used to put out grease fires in a few seconds in different types of cookware without the possibility of reignition and emission of toxic substances. One single sachet puts out a fire of up to 1 liter of burning cooking oil, while 2 sachets put out a fire of up to 2 liters of burning oil. Oil Fighter is very easy to use because you just place it slowly in a pan and in a matter of seconds it puts out the burning oil. The secret lies in an innovative formula that renowned experts have been developing for 8 years. When Oil Fighter comes into contact with burning oil, it creates a thick foamy layer that prevents contact with oxygen, puts out the burning oil, cools it down, and prevents reignition. Oil Fighter is extremely compact. That's why you can always keep it at hand. Oil Fighter is non-toxic and has no side effects when putting out fires. It's suitable for putting out all types of grease fires. It works in different types of cookware. It's also efficient outdoors, as it successfully puts out a grease fire even in a strong wind. 1, 2, 3. In cooking, we use different cooking oils and fats for different types of dishes. Each type of cooking oil has a different auto-ignition temperature, and when left on the stove unattended, it can quickly lead to auto-ignition and a fire that can cause devastating damages in a very short time. Oil Fighter is truly effective. Testing was carried out at the Fire Laboratory at the Slovenian National Building and Civil Engineering Institute.
Cooking is the main cause of domestic fires, and for the most part, the prime culprit is the unattended cooking oil on the stove, a scenario that, in Europe alone, occurs more than 1,000 times a day. Such fires are also the main cause of injuries and deaths in households, not to mention material damage.
Burning oil can quickly be detected due to its strong smell. You run into the kitchen and see the menacing tongues of flames blazing from the pan. Now what?
Cooking oil, or fat, ignites at a temperature of about 350 degrees Celsius. And it reaches that temperature within a few minutes. Burning cooking oil or fat is considered a very demanding type of fire because it's very difficult to put out due to its immediate auto-reignition. Households usually have standard ABC fire extinguishers that aren't suitable for putting out grease fires. Besides, they aren't easily accessible in apartment buildings and houses and can additionally spread out the fire when not used properly.
We've tested the Oil Fighter and were pleasantly surprised by its efficiency. This little sachet can put out a very demanding grease fire in a pan within a few seconds. If the oil in your pan starts burning, don't panic. Use Oil Fighter that should be kept in every kitchen.
Such fires spread very quickly, and in panic you tend to use the first thing that comes to mind. Usually that's water. Don't! Look what happens when we try to put out a grease fire with water. An explosion erupts when water comes into contact with the burning oil. That's horrific.
Years ago, I left unattended oil on a stove. When I realized it was burning, I ran into the kitchen and I tried to put it out with water. It just went whoosh. Fortunately, I managed to turn away. That's why the consequences are visible only on my neck and shoulder.
I wanted to surprise my wife and cook lunch. Then I got a phone call from my business partner, and in that moment, I forgot all about the oil on the stove. When I came back to the kitchen, the oil had already been burning. Fortunately, I had the Oil Fighter at hand and the fire was put out in an instant. I strongly recommend Oil Fighter to you.
While I was cooking, Dylan wouldn't stop crying. I carried him to his nursery to put him down for a nap and forgot about the oil. When I came back to the kitchen, it had already ignited. I remembered that my husband bought the Oil Fighter. Good thing I had the Oil Fighter at hand, otherwise everything would have been burned down.
After I came home from school, I started making lunch. Then my phone rang. After talking with my boyfriend for a while, I noticed the smoke. I ran into the kitchen and the fire was already blazing. I put out the burning oil with Oil Fighter. Every household should keep a sachet of Oil Fighter.
This terrible experience has marked me for life. Today, I keep oil fighter in my kitchen drawer, and I also take it with me on holiday. Most people think that it couldn't happen to them, but it could. I regret not knowing about oil fighter before. When I saw the product demo, I couldn't believe how effective it was. Consequences can be irreparable.
Last summer, my friend and I went camping in a tent. We found a good spot by the sea. She went for a swim, and I started preparing lunch.
I called out to her because the dolphins had swum into the bay.
At the sight of the dolphins, I forgot about the oil, of course. And by the time my friend and I returned, the oil had already ignited. In panic, I grabbed a bottle of water. Fortunately, my friend stopped me on time. It sends shivers down my spine to think that I wanted to put out a grease fire with water. I'm eternally grateful to my friend for having saved us from a disaster.
When I saw the fire, I immediately pulled out the oil fighter from my bag. I slowly placed it in the pan. Oil fighter instantly put out the burning oil. Oil fighter saved us, and I recommend having it in every kitchen.
Oil fighter is designed to put out Class F fires, namely fires that involve burning cooking oils or fats that standard ABC fire extinguishers aren't suitable for. Let's look at some of the other advantages of the oil fire extinguishing sachet. It's easy to use because the sachet is simply placed into the burning oil. Its extremely fast activation puts out a grease fire in a few seconds. It prevents auto reignition. It's suitable for putting out all types of grease fires in different cookware. Its compact design enables you to always keep it at hand. It doesn't require maintenance and has a considerably longer expiry date than standard fire extinguishers. It's suitable for using outdoors, as it puts out a grease fire even in a strong wind. It keeps you safe also on campsites and vessels. 1, 2, 3. In case of burning oil in a pot or a pan. 1, 2, 3. Call now and get your oil fighter for the exclusive price written on the screen. That's not all. By purchasing the oil fighter, we'll give you another one for free. That's right, for this exclusive price, you'll get 2 oil fighters. That's still not all. In addition to this effective oil fighter extinguishing sachet, we'll give you a smoke detector to warn you of a possible fire. Incredible! Even that's not all. After the expiration date, we'll replace both unused oil fighters for free, so that the purchase of an oil fighter means a lifetime of safety in your kitchen. Don't hesitate. Call now and keep you and your loved ones safe. Oil fighter should be kept in every kitchen.